Hello, good evening everyone. It's another day, another video. It's been a while since I recorded my last video. I guess it was last Friday because I wanted to take a rest and stuff like that. I was really tired. And now it's okay. I'm still a little tired, but for other reasons other than the videos. So I missed recording the videos. Let's get going. In this lesson, we will study the verb must and the verb have to, right? Let's get going. You know, we have already started seeing these verb tenses before. It's not the first time you see this verb tense, especially when we had the comparisons between the verb tenses, comparing to may, might, can, could, okay? Must has the same meaning of have to, right? And it can have many meanings, different examples, which we will study right now. When you say, I have to study today, it means it's an obligation, okay? You have to do something. It's necessary to do something, okay? Maybe because you have a test, right? There are many other reasons. You have a test tomorrow. You need to learn something. Anyway, it's an obligation, something you have to do. I'm taking another pen because the previous one was not writing well. Okay. When I say you have to go, you have to turn around. You have to turn around. You are not allowed to come here, okay? So I'm saying which the road is blocked, okay? You have road blocked for some reason. And the policeman tells you, you have to turn around. The road is blocked. You have to find another way, okay? So it has an idea of something that is an obligation or something that is necessary. For example, when I say, I have to wear glasses to read, right? If I don't wear glasses, I'm unable to read. I don't see very well from very close distance, so I need to wear glasses. It's not an obligation, of course, but it's necessary if I want to read. She had a car accident and had to go to the hospital. In this case, it's an example of the verb have to in the past, had to, okay? So this person had an accident and had to go to the hospital. It was necessary because she had a car accident. You have to see the doctor, right? You are not feeling very well and your friend advises you to see the doctor. You have to see the doctor. So all these situations involve either an obligation or a necessity, something that you have to do. Okay, how do you make questions with have to? You must pay attention. You have to pay attention to something very important. Have to needs an auxiliary verb. It's not possible to make questions with have to alone without anything. And then you recall having studied the present perfect, for example, in which the verb have make questions, make answers. For example, have you forgotten that? Have you forgotten that? Forgotten, which is the past participle of the verb to forget. Forget, forgot, forgotten. It's different because in the present perfect, the verb have makes question without auxiliary verb. But when you use have to, it's necessary to use an auxiliary verb, okay? For example, I don't have to work on Sundays. Okay, so I use the auxiliary verb don't to express an idea that it's not necessary to me to go to work on Sundays, right? I don't have the obligation to go to work on Sundays. When you have he, she, or it, you use does, right? Does she have to... Does she have to go that way? It's necessary. Is it necessary for her to go that way? So I make questions using does, because when I have she or he, she, or it in the present, I use the verb does. So the verb have to is unable to make questions alone. And when you answer, giving short answers, you say, yes, she does. No, she doesn't. Every day, you have to realize, every day about around this time, people protest against the president. So if you hear some noise outside, it's because they are doing that. The president's terrible, I know that, but anyway. It's not about politics. We are not studying politics, studying English. But then the noise comes into the video and you have to realize it's not me who is, or anyone else in the house, because I'm alone in the apartment, okay? All right, so does she have to go that way? Yes, she does. No, she doesn't. If I give a complete answer, I say, for example, yes, she has to go that way. It's necessary to her to go that way. She has to go, okay? For he, she, or it, when you don't have the auxiliary verb in affirmative sentences, it's necessary to use has for he, she, or it, right? So I guess everything is self-explanatory. It's not difficult. When you make questions or answers in the negative in the past with have to, the simple past is had to, as we have seen with that example. I had to stay home all day. I had to stay home all day. So somebody asks you the reason. Why did you have to stay home all day? Okay, so you use the auxiliary verb did, and the verb, it's important. I guess it's self-explanatory also, but when you use auxiliary verb in the questions, the verb goes back to the infinitive form, right? So you use had in the answer and did have to in the question. And when you answer negative, for example, no, I didn't have to stay. The auxiliary verb carries the verb tense with it, right? And the verb had goes back to the infinitive form. I didn't have to stay home all day. All right. Okay, so that summarizes the situation. Let's see something else. You can use have in the future, will have to. You can use have to with may to express a possibility, may have to or might have to. Both have the meaning of possibilities. I will have to go downtown tomorrow. Right? It's an action that takes place in the future. It's a necessity. I need to go downtown tomorrow. Okay? It's in the future. The action takes place in the future. I may have to check my emails tonight. It expresses a possibility. It may be necessary to me to check my emails. That's the idea, right? Because I'm waiting. There is an email coming from my boss. And maybe it's necessary to me to check my emails. So it may be necessary, okay? I may have to check my emails tonight. So it's very flexible. When you use may, will, and might, you know, may, might, and will, they ask questions alone. For example, may you have, but... okay? Or will you have to go downtown? So you just change the order, put the verb in the beginning of the sentence. There are many verbs which make questions without auxiliary, such as will, might, may, right? Can, could. The verb to be can also make questions without auxiliary verb. Okay, so that summarizes the situation with the verb have to. And let's wait until the next lesson to continue studying these cases, okay? Bye-bye.